Good evening at 6 o'clock. I'm Anne Marie Tiernan. Scott's off tonight. We kick off the show tonight with the ongoing dispute between leaders of a student-led newspaper at IU Bloomington and also the university leaders there. Tonight, the paper's student editor tells us that the school canceled all remaining print editions for the rest of this year. Tonight, our Ashton Hackman is back from Bloomington and he explains why these students are calling that move censorship.
Student editors for the Indiana Daily Student say media school administrators told them no news could be published in the homecoming publication.
If they're willing to violate the First Amendment for what they view as a business decision, it doesn't matter that it's print. It could go anywhere.
On Tuesday, media school dean David Tolchinsky terminated Jim Rodenbush, the director of student media. In this termination letter shared with 13 News by the IDS, the dean wrote that Rodenbush, quote, failed to lead and communicate on behalf of the administration about plans to shift the school's focus from print to digital news. Right now, the paper operates under a charter, meaning students have full editorial control, even with IU helping cover expenses. What was once a daily paper has dwindled to now periodic print publications. School leaders cite costs.
Our editorial independence has always supposed to be intact, and I think that's a little bit where this confusion comes from.
An IU spokesman said the university can't comment on personnel matters, but said, quote, as part of the 2024 action plan for student media, the campus is shifting resources from print to digital media, prioritizing student experiences that are more consistent with today's digital-first media environment, while also addressing a long-standing structural deficit at the IDS. Editorial control remains fully with IDS leadership, and the university will continue to work closely with them to ensure the strength, sustainability, and independence of student media at IU. The student paper does maintain a strong digital presence, but worry that could be on the chopping block next.
This is not a path we really want to go down. If they can tell us what we can and cannot print, where does that lead us in the future? We're not hung up on print. We're hung up on editorial independence.
Editorial independence now at the center of a censorship debate at IU Bloomington. Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Journalist Ernie Pyle there in that statue. We reached out to the media school dean for comment, but we have yet to hear back at this hour. IDS leaders tell us that the school says they are not restricted from posting their news articles online or posting on social media. Tonight, here's a live look downtown Indianapolis. We're keeping an eye on the potential for some rain as fall-like weather is on the horizon. A lot cooler at this time tonight than we had just yesterday.
Some locations 10 to 15 degrees cooler, especially in the northern part of the state. Seems like this time of year we get these pushes of cooler air. We're going to see that today, and then we're also going to see that as we look to Saturday and Sunday. Some big changes on the horizon, but we've got to get through tonight first and then into tomorrow. So temperatures, yes, 60s and 70s. It really depends on where you are. Quite a contrast across central Indiana. We're looking at 61 for Marion. It's one of the cooler locations there, as well as Richmond, and then temperatures in the low to mid 70s. The farther west you go, Terre Haute at 75. So there's a front that's washed out across the state. I keep saying that because it's not very well defined. It's just some cooler air that's kind of trickling in. And yes, temperatures are anywhere from 5, 10, 15 degrees cooler than yesterday at this exact time, where we were talking about temperatures that were close to 80 degrees. The clouds filtered in today. There wasn't much with the rain chance today, but it was there and still a possibility that we could see a little sprinkle or drizzle. But this is not the best chance of rain in our forecast. We knew that. We know that Saturday is going to be that best chance, at least in the 7-day. This front won't be much of an issue. High pressure will build back in. So for tonight, it's watching those temperatures that are currently in the 60s and 70s drop into the 50s. And then tomorrow, picking up some sunshine during the afternoon to push our temperatures back up to a very comfortable near 70-degree temperature. Saturday's forecast could be a possibility for some stronger storms. I'll have that covered for you in just a few.
All right, Rob, thank you. We'll check back. In the meantime now, the latest headlines. Metro Police are now investigating a shooting over the weekend as a homicide. 40-year-old Clifford Hudson was shot Sunday afternoon near 14th and Tibbs and went to the hospital in critical condition. The coroner confirms that he died yesterday. Police have not shared any information about a potential suspect in this case. Also tonight, 3 people are under arrest following a 14-month investigation into several massage parlors located in Kokomo and also here in Indianapolis. Indiana State Police say it all stems from an investigation into an alleged human trafficking that was linked to the businesses and their owners. Police arrested a 35-year-old man and a 35-year-old woman, both from Noblesville, accusing them of promoting prostitution. They also arrested a 56-year-old woman for corrupt business influence. At the Indiana State House, a big push to protect young Hoosiers from drowning risks. Some school districts do teach water safety, but it is not a requirement here in Indiana. But now there is a legislative study committee that's adopting recommendations to change that next year. Our Rich Nye dives into the issue tonight at the State House.
Most Indiana students are very familiar with the phrase stop, drop, and roll when it comes to fire safety. Now a legislative study committee recommends that the phrase flip, float, and follow become part of their required water safety education. That means when someone is in distress in the water, they need to flip onto their back, float to calm down, then find the safest path out of the water. The Study Committee on Public Health is promoting that message as part of its recommendations for water safety education in school, recommendations that could become legislation.
A water safety school curriculum would be the fastest approach to reach the largest audience in the shortest amount of time that would have the maximum impact, as well as the most cost-effective avenue to take.
The committee proposes that age-appropriate water safety videos be produced and shown to every student once a year in grades K through 12. In the water instruction is also encouraged as much as possible. At the State House, Rich Nye, 13 News.
And tonight we're getting a look at the latest draft for how the state of Indiana plans to grade school success. The Indiana Department of Ed is tasked with updating the state's accountability system. This measures how students are progressing year to year in each individual school. So the proposed grading system assigns points to students based on their success during state testing. It also awards points for other skills and experiences needed for future success, like workforce credits and life skills. Schools then will receive a grade that's based on the average score of its students enrolled. This new proposal would also award students who get back on track during certain grade levels. There is now a new dashboard that's out that shows and breaks down how much money each county here in the state of Indiana will lose due to state cuts in child care vouchers. Our Ella Rhodes tells us what these new numbers now mean.
This new data comes from Early Learning Indiana, and they estimate the state will lose nearly $195 million from the state's cuts to childcare. ELI estimates Marion County will lose $1.4 million weekly due to the cuts. Every county loses a different amount for various reasons. The state says they made these cuts due to a funding gap made by the previous administration. Child care vouchers provide low-income families assistance to pay for child care. It's also how some child care providers make substantial revenue. ELI says its research finds enrollment has dropped in early learning programs. They also say the voucher waitlist includes 29,000 Hoosier children. Holly Maxwell owns Little Angels, an early child care center in Lebanon. She says the cuts forced her to let go of staff and cut down hours of operation.
So it's not going to just affect the providers and the families and the children. It's going to affect businesses because they're not going to have workers.
The state tells 13 News the adjustments are challenging for providers, but essential to ensuring affordable care access for families. In Indianapolis, Ella Rhodes, 13 News.
A recently built space in Bloomington now putting the limits of the human body to the test. How the results could keep people safe in sub-zero cold and also sweltering heat.
Well, nothing that extreme headed our way, but Saturday is going to be a bit of a clash from the 80s down into the 60s. We'll talk about your forecast coming up.
And a years-long saga on what to do with the downtown heliport could soon be coming to an end. We have the big vote that's on the agenda yet this week to keep the ball rolling.